What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is ACC, where today we're going to be taking a look at the British GT a little bit. The DLC that came out a few weeks ago. We're going to be doing a 25-minute race against the AI, multi-class with the GT4 cars. Racing here at Oulton Park, driving the 911 GT3R, the modern one, the updated one. The one that only tries to kill you every fourth corner as opposed to every third corner. But, yeah. AI set to 100 difficulty, 90 aggression. Racing here in the middle of the night because, you know, when you can, why not?
Car on the right.
So first of all, of course, you know, with new DLC, everybody here on the old YouTubes races out to get their video up and all that and be first and get them sweet, sweet clicks and algorithm fed goodness. Yeah, myself, I'm busy doing grandmother videos. I'm the worst YouTuber ever. I reject your concepts and will go my own direction. Thank you very much. And then believe me, I know it, I understand it. But so here's the last British GT DLC package review you will ever need for ACC if you haven't already made your mind up by now. All right, there you go. As only I can do. Okay, right? At least some of you guys seem to think. Do you like ACC? Did you answer yes? All right, then buy the DLC. Did you answer no? All right, then don't buy the DLC. The DLC adds really nothing game-changing. Yeah, there is a multi-class aspect of being able to run with GT4 cars out there on track, but as we'll see by the end of this, you know, that's kind of one of those things that, yeah, it's there, but if you're an offline racer, it's not gonna, I don't think it's really gonna enhance your experience all that much, as you will see by the end of this race in all likelihood. But, you know, otherwise, you're just getting more game. And if you like the game, more game to the game you like is a good thing.
Car on the left.
Just go ahead and shove it on in there. Giggity, right? Yeah!
Left.
It's like two can play that game, huh? Haha. I think he got sent right there by the guy behind him. Poor series of events for that poor guy right there. Just gets dive bombed like no one other there, and then he gets sent.
Yellow flag is set.
Oh man. Yellow flag in Sector 2. You don't say. I wonder what that could be about. Huh? In fairness, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, the move was clean. That was just good, hard, clean, tough, you know, Rubbins racing on corner exit there. That wasn't how I got by the guy. That was just in the process of getting by the guy. Then he just got blasted in the next corner by the guy behind him. Can't blame that one on me, all right? Might have been optimistic, but I was not the cause on that one. But the big thing with the British GT DLC, you know, you obviously get the car skins and all that stuff, which is fine enough by itself, don't get me wrong. But the main thing is the 3 tracks, which is kind of a little rundown. You get Snetterton, Donington, and Oulton Park here, which 2 of those tracks would fall in my personal top 10. Maybe there's a clickbaity YouTube video I should make at some point. So let me know. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. Feed that algorithm. But, yeah, Snetterton, we'll start there because that's easily my least favorite of the 3. It's just woefully mediocre. It's perfectly average. It's on that tier with, like, Barcelona and the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit where it just sort of exists. And, yeah, occasionally I'll fire it up and do a race there, but it's not a track that I want to race on. It's not something I really particularly look forward to, but I don't hate it to near the same level as something like, say, Misano or even Paul Ricard. But then the other two tracks are absolute stars in my book. Would definitely fall within my top 10. Donington, which would, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, is the best circuit in England. I mean, by a mile and a half. If your big point in comparison is Silverstone. Silverstone is an absolutely dreadful circuit, and Donington is clearly superior in basically all regards, and therefore should get all of the accolades and attention because it is the better circuit. Just throwing that out there. I mean, to be entirely honest, Donington might be the track in my sim racing career that I have the most laps logged at. With that track having a shorter lap length, plus the fact that it's been in so many racing games I've played the snot out of. I mean, I think there might be a very, very high likelihood on a sheer lap count that one might win out. Because to say I raced a lot there in the GT3R days would be an understatement. But you know what? It never gets boring. That track is so fantastic. And then you get Oulton Park here, which is just a total gem of a track. One of those tracks where it's like, yes, this is why laser scanning is so important for sim racing and does increase the experience that much. Because this track legitimately feels as if they took the ground that was already there and then they put a carpet over the top of it. And by carpet, I mean the thinnest layer of pavement you could possibly put on top of the ground. I mean, every single undulation and bump that was in the ground already feels like it was perfectly preserved to make a just ludicrous up and down roller coaster experience. I mean, you got bumps all over the place, you got elevation changes all over the place. And what's not to like? You got a corner where McLaren shoots sparks out the rear end. I mean, yeah. So that's the British GT DLC review. If you needed the longer explanation for whatever reason, I don't quite understand why, but I guess you have to check the boxes, no pun intended, and kind of run through things a little bit in case you didn't know this was a thing for whatever reason. So on to other things. Been spending a lot of time with ACC over the last few weeks. You know, as I've kind of talked about before with my return to doing content on this channel, I've been having some serious connection issues, and part of it, of working around that, is I've started kind of looking at alternate options. And by alternate options, I mean, you know, for my online racing fix, because it gets to a point where with iRacing and the way it works, and you know, only scheduled races going off at scheduled times, which is honestly what I like. But in the environment of the realm of when my connection seems to be 50-50 whether or not I'm going to be able to finish a race, it's kind of one of those things where it's like I don't want to plan my evening around something that I might not even get to fully enjoy just because the connection gods say, yeah, no, denied. Whereas a game like ACC, you know, being the public server racing in the way that there's just a multitude of races going on at any one time, and it's very active online. Kind of a next best option, I guess you'd say. While still hopefully getting clean racing. And I've done a good bit of public server racing over the last few days, and to be entirely honest, I keep coming back to racing the AI because I just have more fun with them. Because when it comes to online racing, it seems to always go the same way for me. I miss qualifying inevitably. Or alternatively, I just don't get a good lap in because, you know, traffic in a public server environment, you all know how it goes if you've been there. start at the back. Everybody wrecks out. I pass everybody else because, you know, you use your noggin. Or alternatively, you get caught up into it, and then the race is over, basically, and you ride around damage. But, you know, usually just starting at the back, so just kind of wait for everybody to crash themselves out. Yoink the positions while you can, you know.
Car on the right.
And I generally end up doing every race. I finish, like, 4th place, 12, 15 seconds behind the leader. You know, it's like, yeah, all right. If I got a qualifying lap, we could have maybe had a good race. Could have won that one. You know, and I made a go of it. And you'll get into good battles every now and then, but, like, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have the same appeal when I can just instantly get into a race and be racing around cars that are competitive and on speed without having to jump through so many hoops, or alternatively deal with the fact that apparently half of the ACC community, even on the high safety rating servers, has not figured out how to successfully get a GT3 car through, I totally butcher the pronunciation as usual, but Puhan at Spa, you know, that really long, fast left-hander. Like, just keeping the car on the track there, you will gain so many positions as everybody runs wide 10 miles away. And it's like, that's not faster. You just got to go slower into the corner, guys. That's the secret. That's how you go faster. And you make the corner. The car's way more in control, and it's easier. It's not... You're trying too hard, and you're giving me positions in the process.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
I will say, that one corner in particular, if anyone from Kunos happens to see this, that left-hander, the AI needs a little work on. I've mentioned that one corneritis before on this channel. That's why I refer to it when AI is just strangely slow in one corner. But in that corner, that sweeping left-hander downhill, you know, you can see the AI runs wide, and then they like, oh snap, I need to go ahead and fix this, and cut back to the middle of the circuit and slow themselves down very quickly, and makes themselves easily abused. All right, so the gap is 7.5 seconds to the leader. And the good news is, now that we have clear traffic, no cars in front of us, we can blow past the apex there and say hi to it as we go past it. We can go ahead and hopefully uncork some laps here. So I have to say, this thing, when you're at speed, giving it a go on this track, so enjoyable. As far as returning back to this game, you know, finding a main GT3 car to go to, because none of them particularly excite me in all regards, except for maybe the 911 here. But the car that I enjoy driving the most is the Lexus, of all things, which I think is one of the most ugly cars in the grid. But for whatever reason, the way it drives, I just get along with it so well, and it does the things that I'm looking for, and you know, have a great feel for it. But then find out that Lexus apparently is a bunch of killjoys over there. So you can't have a custom generated through the game paint scheme that other people would be able to see online. You could go ahead and make one through Photoshop, and I could do that, but then people won't be able to see it, and it's like, well, what's the point then, you know? So apparently Lexus just sucks, and that's all there is to it. So I kind of gone ahead and started looking for alternative cars, because I don't want to run the official schemes. I want to have something that's got my colors on it at the very least, you know. Got to have my teal race cars, because that's my thing, you know. Unfortunately, the Germans of all people seem to be less buzzkill happy. I'll let you have a paint scheme on your car for crying out loud. Just saying. But yeah, it's been a thing. Stay over there.
On the right. Clear on the right.
Oh man, that was terrible right there. Sorry, KTM guy. That was not my best corner. Definitely pinched you coming out there. Well, I do feel sorry for that Kia. He drives like a Kia. That KTM, every single race I do with the AI, that guy is always in last place. It's like, oh man, poor fella. Alright, so the gap's down to 5 seconds. But yeah, I've gone through pretty much all of the GT3 cars. Kind of spent more than the requisite amount of time with them just to figure out which one is the one that I'm going to go to. And
Gaining on the driver ahead.
thought I'd go to the Aston Martin, the V8 Vantage, the new one. Because, you know, front engine car, that seems to be part of why I like the Lexus. It just works out the best for me, but at the same time, it isn't one of the house-sized GT3 cars, which I'm just not a fan of, even though that may shock people. I absolutely hate the frickin' Bentley. It's like the size of a house, and well, you know, yes, I'm an American, and you think of, you know, muscle cars and cars that don't turn, cars that are, again, the size of a house. And oftentimes in sim racing, I've preferred cars like that.
Clear on the right.
GT3 format, it doesn't really do it for me. The same also goes for like the M6 and the GTR, which the GTR was never even a serious contender in my book anyways, because that car is even uglier than the Lexus, which is saying something. I mean, the Lexus looks like a frickin'... It's got Predator face going on. See, the gap just closes down so quickly. This is why I say, yeah, you can do GT3, GT4 multi-class races, but offline, I really wouldn't suggest it all that much, because you...
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oops. That was my bad. Slid wide there. But the AI just has such a hard time navigating the traffic that you're going to end up smoking them.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
So long story short, I've gravitated back to the Porsche. Can't say it really surprised me, because flat six is best six, and it's not even close. I mean, who doesn't like 9,000 RPMs of naturally aspirated flat six goodness? I mean, let's be real. You can resist that, you're a better man than I.
Car on the right.
Yeah, I'm coming through. You're driving too slow. You're still driving too slow. And now what we got here? See, this whole thing was caused by this McLaren here, driving down the middle of the frickin' road
Car on the
for
left.
no reason at all.
Clear on the left.
And well, you can say, like, yeah, I'm being too optimistic there, and yeah, that was optimistic, don't get me wrong. Should have never even happened, because the McLaren should not be driving down the middle of the road in front of faster class cars on a circuit this narrow, as if the GT3 car doesn't exist, like we just saw right there.
Car on the right.
because it just totally screws things up. The AI just simply does not have the awareness to do this type of racing. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, GT3, GT4 cars, not really necessarily my cup of tea, but it's kind of thinking like, what if, you know, somehow Kunos got like the IMSA license or, you know, something with the ACO and had, you know, that type of racing, but to be honest, I don't think it'd work out all that well. I mean, why are you coming so far over on this straightaway when it's clear that the fastest class car is going to your right? Why would you go to the right? Why would you do that? I don't know. I suppose I'm trying to... I'm taking too much advantage of them, expecting too much out of their behavior. And, you know, again, part of that is on me, but these are things that become very apparent when you do
Car on the right.
this type of racing.
On the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
All right, we got 3.5 minutes left. We are through the GT4s. Leader is in sight. So let's see what we can do. See if we can win this one. Just love the sounds out of this thing. Alright, pursuit mode engaged. Maybe closer. We're only gonna have one more lap.
Fastest lap of the race. Great job.
Well, I don't think we're going to get him unless he makes a mistake. And given that he's a robot,
Yellow flag is
quite literally, I don't know. Well, that was a pretty solid corner there. All right, it's gonna be close. Close the gap. Oh, we just flubbed it.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
What's all this yellow flag stuff for? What's going on? I will say, one thing this game does well, when you get to uncork it, man. At the end there, I mean, that one lap was like 0.7 of a second faster than our best lap before, just because we didn't have the AI in front of us. But yeah, I've been having a blast with this game. It's been enjoyable. British GT DLC, you know, no brainer. If you're into this game, duh. If you're not, duh. And yeah, that's basically that. So yeah, not much else to say. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.